Hey everybody, we're here in Orlando at the Prophecy Watchers Conference, and I'm found Bill Koenig, one of my good friends, and I love this guy. He's got information like there's no tomorrow. You wrote Eye to Eye, didn't you? You guys got to get that book because he talks about how when we do stuff to Israel, it reverberates back to us of the Abrahamic covenant of the cursing aspect. So you got to get that book. But anyway, I'm privileged to be with him. So tell the audience what you're going to be teaching about and talking to the audience about.
Well, my focus has been two things. Number one is spiritual preparation. I mean, we're living in the final days, and sometimes people are so focused just in the prophetic, they forget about their personal, intimate walk with the Lord. So I've done it twice now, and the response has been very, very good.
Great.
And it's just preparation for the days that we live in.
Amen.
And the second one will be kind of a connecting of the dots, Washington, D.C., to Jerusalem, to Moscow, to Beijing, what we're watching right now, including Erdogan and Turkey, that are very significant.
Yeah.
So much is going on, as you know, Brandon.
Oh.
And I just want to connect some dots and show people who to watch right now.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. You were a White House correspondent, weren't you? How many years did you do
20
that?
years.
20 years. So this guy knows what he's talking about. So now I want to pick your brain then, okay? So where do you think the issue of Ukraine is going with Russia and the United States involved in that? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think a couple of things. We've already, I think, spent over $60 billion there, and we have a border. It's like a SIF.
Yeah.
This is a joke.
Right.
We, and we're talking about another 114 billion that Biden wants to give to the Ukraine. My problem is I know the Ukrainian people, a lot of wonderful people, a lot of Jews in the Ukraine, a lot of Christians in the Ukraine, but it also is a country that's had a lot of corruption over the years.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful where that money's going.
Yeah.
At the same time, take care of our own border. And that's what the conservative Republicans in the Senate wanted to do. Say, look, we'll do this. We'll consider doing this, but we got to get our own border taken care of.
Amen.
Plus, they wanted to divide the aid to Israel and the Ukraine separate issues.
Yeah.
The Democrats didn't want that. So that's another reason nothing has happened right now. And I think it's had $15 billion that was going to be given to the Israelis. So it's just a very problematic, difficult time. Obviously, Putin's interviews with Tucker created more interest. He's savvy. He's a pretty savvy guy, but we continue to watch that situation. And obviously, what's interesting is Iran and Russia have become closer through the Ukraine conflict, which will also have an effect on Iran and Russia moving into Ezekiel 38 and 39.
Yeah. Okay, so hey, good point. You mentioned the border. What's your opinion of why the Biden administration is allowing, 8 million, 10 million, I don't know. And we don't know where these people are going, where they've ended up. Is it simply a political thing, or is it more of a globalist plan to destroy America? What do you think in your opinion?
Conceptually, both.
Okay.
This is absolutely, there's no rhyme or reason why this is happening, unless there's an agenda or a purpose for this.
Yeah.
Number one, they want to turn Texas, which is a red state, blue.
Yeah, so there's a political element.
That's a political aspect of it, including some of the other red states that happen to be border states.
Yeah.
Especially, moving towards Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. But I think, and the other thing is, globalist, this is disruptive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Obama administration operated through disruption. And so I don't trust the overall plan, the agenda. Still trying to put my arms around it, Brandon, but it's not good for America.
Yeah.
And the irony is more and more Hispanic voters are more interested in the conservatives and Republicans now than they have in the past.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because there's a misnomer out there. And you get it a lot from the Democrats saying, well, just because they're Hispanic, they're going to automatically vote Democrat. And that's not the case. We're starting to see they have more family values and more conservative values than what the Democrats are portraying. And I wonder how that's going to factor into the 2024 election. Now, that's where I want to go here. It's obvious they cannot and they will not accept someone from the outside, let me say like a Trump, running against their program. They do not want that again. What do you think these people are capable of?
Boy, I don't know. Uh, you know, it's so unpredictable. With what's happening right now, Brandon. We're at a time of unpredictability.
Yeah.
Look what they're putting Trump through.
Right.
This is absolutely bizarre and absurd, and they're doing everything they can to destroy him as a potential Republican candidate. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Biden, I mean, he's not there. Who's calling the shots?
Yeah.
I mean, who's calling the shots?
Right.
And, you know, there's obviously some of the people that I follow, there's some concerns about a cyber attack.
Yeah.
Prior to the election, possibly even as extreme as EMP.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is going to be the most unbelievable period of time between now and November that we've ever seen in our country politically.
Yes.
And I don't know how it's going to play out. Only God probably does at this point. But there's a lot of things that are problematic.
Yeah.
And I mean, here we have the director of the FBI 2 weeks ago discussing the threat of a Chinese cyber attack.
Like what?
This is
Yeah.
in Congress in Washington.
Right.
He's talking about this.
Right. Unbelievable.
Yeah, some of the other disruptions we've had recently.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Russia. Russia, you know, Medvedev, the former president of Russia, has
Yeah.
talked about the nuking, using the nukes possibly against NATO, the United States. Putin goes like that from time to time, and some of his top military leaders.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some prophecies over the year, I don't know if they're accurate or not, but talked about the vulnerability of America, especially New York, to a nuclear attack.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, this is prophecy playing out.
Yeah.
It's difficult. We don't want to make predictions.
Right.
But
Right.
nonetheless, these are things that we're watching closely.
Yeah. So we got a big election. Okay. So the biggest thing the World Economic Forum came out, the biggest threat they said was misinformation and disinformation. Help the audience when they hear that, because that's what even Canada is trying to pass a law of hate crimes now. What is the intent when they say those things? What are they trying to do?
Their intent.
Yes, their intent. Yes.
That's their intent. There's
Okay.
misinformation.
Yeah.
That is exactly their modus operandi, and they're trying to get their people. We saw it happen in Brazil with the election. We saw it happen in
Yes.
Arizona with Kerry Lake's election.
Yeah.
They start blaming the Bolsonaro or the Kerry Lake for misinformation, when in reality it's the system that created the skepticism in the first place.
Yeah.
So this is a reverse approach.
Yeah.
What they're accusing us of is exactly what they're doing.
Isn't that
part
funny?
of their agenda.
They project what they're doing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's crazy, man. So, you know, when I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, you want to shut down free speech. You want to shut down, you know, us getting the truth out. And I'm trying to figure out what lengths are they willing to go? Because recently in Canada, Trudeau is behind a bill that says we're going to take away religious exemptions on hate speech, which means that even if you declare yourself a Christian and I'm just following the Bible and I'm against gay marriage, they can charge you. Do you think what you see in Canada is eventually going to come to the United States?
Well, fortunately, we have freedom of speech protection.
Yeah.
We certainly feel for our brothers and sisters that are dealing with it in Canada. What a mess. I can't even comprehend this. But we saw something trending a couple months before the midterm election in 2022 was exactly that. MSNBC, CNBC, chastising this misinformation from Republicans, from conservatives. And also we saw it during the COVID crisis when we had the Surgeon General and the president of Pfizer saying that anything spoken against the vaccines that they were producing should be criminal. And Dr. Peter McCullough said the exact right thing. He said, okay, give us the proof. You're saying there's misinformation, disinformation, provide it.
Yeah.
They never provide it. This is part of their game.
Yeah.
They don't provide it.
Good point.
But they accuse. And this is masterful, diabolic accusations.
Yeah.
This is part of their game.
So let me ask you one more question, because I like to pick your brain when I got you. It sounds like in either April or May of this year, the Biden administration is preparing to have our health sovereignty handed over to the World Health Organization. And Tedros and those guys are going to be able to handle when we have pandemics or whatever. They're going to be telling the United States what to do. Is that a shifting of American sovereignty? A shifting of our health care to the World Health Organization? What is that? What's going on there?
Well, I know our friend Michelle Bachmann has been in Geneva. She's been at the World Health Organization meetings. She's been watching it closely. That is a concern. that the World Health Organization wants to get America under their umbrella, and where we're compliant to them, whether it has to do with digital passports, digital currencies, well, especially in the health related. It has me having to do with travel, with visas. You know, if the World Health Organization calls a pandemic, they want to be able to dictate in America how it's handled.
Yeah.
And this is their plan, trying to gain our freedom and take it and put it under the umbrella of the World Health Organization.
Wow.
It should not happen.
Wow.
I don't think they have the votes right now. They tried last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the votes.
Yeah.
But I'm prayerful that this can be stopped. But that's part of the Biden agenda.
Wow. Wow.
It's something we're watching very closely. Michelle and Family Research Council are doing a really good job of staying on top of it.
It just seems like these guys, all they want is control. They want control of the health. They want control of the planet. I mean, it's just, they're like power hungry, it seems like.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Totally, Brandon. And that's just that's the game. It's total control, where we are totally under their thumb, their control. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of that in China right now with the social networks.
Right.
Their sophistication in facial recognition and things like that. So if you want to see what they're attempting to do, watch what China's doing with the social networks, et cetera.
Wow. You know, here's the interesting thing. You say that. I was in Australia and New Zealand, and there was cameras everywhere. And people were on the freeways driving the speed limit. I'm like, why are they all driving the speed limit? Because there was cameras, and the cameras would pick up on them and give them a ticket if they were speeding. And I'm thinking, is that going to come to America? This whole surveillance. Let me ask you this. Black Swan events, things of that nature. Is it possible, now we can be raptured at any point in time, but is it possible we could watch the advent of a digital currency?
I know they've been real quiet about it, especially, you know, the Fed coin.
Yeah.
I know they want to go there. I just don't know the timing. And the question is, can they put it on us without any notice? I don't think we're there yet, because a lot of people are aware of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, anything's possible in this day.
Right, I know.
What we saw with COVID, I mean, what they did with us with COVID.
Yeah.
That's a precursor.
Good point. Well, hey, guys, you want to make sure you tune in to Prophecy Watchers, listen to Bill's messages. Bill, how can they find you on the internet?
Our website is watch.org. That's WATCH.org. We've been on the net a long time.
Yeah, man.
Got a good URL.
Amen. So you guys are going to tune into that, because I get a lot of my information from this guy, because he's on top of it. He knows all the politics and the Bible. So make sure you tune in to Bill Koenig's information. He is phenomenal. Anyway, thank you, Bill. Appreciate you, man. I'll let you go, man. Take care.
Okay.
God bless you guys.